How's it going, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and today's video was made possible courtesy of Regal Robots. If you're not familiar with who they are a company here in the United States who make a lot of really cool Star Wars collectibles, from collectibles that we can get and of course some custom furniture as well. What's cool is that they get the opportunity to actually look through the archives and recreate some of these really cool items from long ago for us the fans to enjoy and collect. For example, most notably, they actually recently released the gaffy stick that the Tusken Raiders use. They had two different variations from A New Hope and the Book of Boba Fett, which have already recently long gone and sold because of how value and really cool the collectibles are. But today they actually had some of their other items that are a little bit easier to get as well, and you don't have to worry about these selling out anytime soon. So let's go ahead and start with the ones that I have in hand right here, which are these new metal art prints. So the first one that we have here is one that's kind of an old school Star Wars poster, if you will. Now, as you can see from the size of the metal print next to my hand, these aren't like super large prints or anything like that. But what's cool is that these are very nice and light, so you could easily put this anywhere that you want. And each of these metal prints are actually embossed. So in person, it kind of has a little bit of a 3D effect, but obviously the video is probably not going to show that quite well. The next item, which happens to be from my favorite Star Wars film based on the original trilogy, is of course we have one for The Empire Strikes Back. Here you guys go. Same thing embossed as well. And last but not least, we also have Return of the Jedi. Now, I will say between the three of these, I think I like the Return of the Jedi one more. Even though Empire Strikes Back is my favorite of the films, the reason why I like this one a little bit more is because in person, it's got this really neat 3D effect, especially with the hand here holding the lightsaber. It just, like, in person, it just looks really neat. Like I said, this 3D effect that it's giving off isn't going to quite appear well on the actual camera. But if you had to pick one, this is a good choice, or just get all three. These do retail on the website for $19.99 if you're a bit curious. And we also have one other item too. This one, I think some of you might really enjoy as well, especially if you have, well, a lot of collectibles like I do myself, is for anyone who is a fan of the character Boba Fett. As you guys know, there's all kinds of different things with the character. You got from the original trilogy, from Empire Strikes Back to the Return of the Jedi, also the the Book of Boba Fett as well. So all kinds of different things that you can get. There's also, the prototype Boba Fett armor and many more amongst the way. So if you're someone who has a vast collection of merchandise based on that particular character, I think this is an item here that some of you are probably going to like. Or if you just collect a lot of different things in general, then something to add to your collection as well. But what we have here is that we have a Boba Fett armor prototype skull. So here is the quick little paperwork here. And then on the back is just them giving a nice thank you for the purchase here. Let's go ahead and remove the paper. Let's take a closer look. And then here we have the skull. Now again, this is based on Boba Fett's prototype armor. And some of you might be kind of curious, when and where exactly have we seen this? Now, in the early versions of Boba Fett's armor, especially on the shoulder pad, as you guys know in the films, we see the Mythosaurus skull symbol located on the shoulder pad. However, in the earlier versions of the outfit, it was actually this skull right here, which I believe some of the early toys also included that. In fact, let me kind of give you more of the proper backstory here, because, well, it's best if I read it off here than trying to memorize it all by heart. So, the design story here is the inspiration for the skull comes from the early prototype of Boba Fett's armor. Photographs of the particular suit were widely used in the early publicity for the character and turn up in books and even on action figure packaging. Further, fans learned that on the Disney Plus show Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett's, the suit was also worn in the and hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly, Enzelmo? I probably butchered that. I so apologize for that. I'm never good with pronunciations. Country Fair Parade in 1978, Boba Fett's first appearance to the public. Now, the highly detailed bird-like skull was sculpted by Regal Robots digital artist Christian Maggie with references from Lucasfilm and cast in solid resin by the team in the USA. Each of the skulls are uniquely hand-stained accent with amazing details and wonderful organic sculpture. So yes, this is a resin piece, which is weird because I myself actually have a resin printer, and it's kind of hard to tell because this kind of doesn't feel like resin. It kind of feels like an actual skull, but it's nicely detailed too. And you know, not each one is going to look exactly the same because of the staining process that gets hand done individually. So each one is going to be stained a little bit differently from one another. So to kind of compare this, like I said, this isn't the only skull thing that they have. They do have variations, like again the giant mudhorn skull that we have up here, or they have a smaller one. But another good reference too, especially if you're trying to collect these for your Boba Fett or other Star Wars collectibles, is that here's something from their line already, with is the Mythosaurus skull, and then here is the other one. So having these two side by side, honestly, just looks really cool, and I think a lot of people will totally get behind for sure. But let me know what you guys think about these in the comment section down below. Like I said, these are currently all available right now. I believe the skull goes for $35 to $40. I'll have a link to everything that I showcased in today's video in the video description down below. Let me know if there's anything here that caught your interest. And also, by the way, I know you guys were really curious for this week. I'm saving it for next week because I figured the newest episode of The Mandalorian would be a perfect time to review this one. But next week I'll be reviewing a custom Darksaber. I know you guys have been patiently waiting on this one, which I do appreciate. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next video upload. Until then, may the Force be with you. And you know what? Before you go, let me know in the comment section down below, based purely on the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6, which one was your most favorite? You know, from most to least. It's kind of hard to have a least because they're all that good. But I would say for me personally, my number one is going to be Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I've said it multiple times on this channel. It's not too hard to guess that one. But I'm just kind of curious what your guys' number one is versus number 3. Till then, see you guys in the next upload. And always remember, may the Force be with you.